Welcome in. We are talking about truth. This is the time to come together and recenter ourselves and get into what we are working towards, like building and creating and moving forward. And I believe that we can quantum leap. What are the steps that we want to do today so that we get our clearing, we get out of our sabotages, we get out of our fight or flight brain of 80% of our day being negative, is what the latest research is showing. If we get out of that, where can we go? Where can we go and be able to live a life that's powerfully in love, powerfully in love with life, being able to stop for a moment instead of thinking, I have no time, I have no time, I have no time, but really getting into truth that there's tons of time out there, that we are all have the same allotted amount of time, but it depends on where our brain goes. And sometimes it can hijack us because we just think we have all this stuff that we have to do. But if we get in truth, then we have what we decide we're going to have. We get to make our own choices, but sometimes we get chained up in living this life that, in our brain, that we have to be doing all these things. But where are those things taking us? I know that being off of medicine for 6 years now, I am learning so much deeper stuff about my tools that I studied, like 10 years ago in health coaching, to also being in the health industry for 20 years. I step into those. And I wouldn't if I was still in medicine, because that was a veil that helped my body, work, but it systemically, I was aging myself quickly by not really showing up because I couldn't feel the aches and pains of what I was putting myself through. I mean, I can feel the aches and pains, but when my body started bloating and getting bigger, I realized that my body's literally going to stop and I'm going to exit out of this world and be gone if I keep going down the route that I'm going. And I really gave my heart into the strategies that I truly believe in. Are there some things in your life that you believe in, but you're not fully stepping into it because maybe not everybody around you believes in what you believe? And so you may be coiling back and not sharing all the gems of who you are. Anybody else besides me that I've done this? When you start looking at your space in this world and all the billions of people that are out there, we get so afraid of being ourselves. Today it's about being in truth. As you'll see in the comments, in the information with this video is about every Friday that I come in and get to share, it really is about truth. It's not just a diet plan. It's not just a health and wellness plan. It's not just a mindset plan. It's not just a business plan. Whatever else you want to tether on there, it's not just that. Man, it's about being happy in this world. So I want to share with you a story, and I want you to bring your stories in about things that you want to clear now, or you have been clearing, or that you get to celebrate. You get to celebrate that you don't think that way anymore. We always have another up level from where we are, because every day I'm seeking, what's the next level? Where are we going? Because I truly believe in quantum leaping, and I love this U Squared book. I used to just pick a page and I see where it takes me, and then I go, interesting. It says, rely on unseen forces. Just as real, though out of sight, are invisible resources ready to make a profound difference in what you can achieve. It's actually 2 pages, so I'm not going to read it all. But if you can learn to do something for yourself, to recenter yourself so that you can get into your body and start seeing these gems that are all around you to help you in your next level. There's people out there. There's quiet space out there where you really, that's available for you right now. And sometimes we drone ourselves in to noise. I have a client right now, every time that she does a video for me, because we do stuff on Marco Polo, there's always the sound of vocals going on the TV. Anybody else have a challenging time where you feel like you need to have some noise around you because that's where you feel safe? You can drone out that stuff, those words that just keep coming at you, because we're known to say 60,000 words to ourselves every day. That's just kind of a study, whatever. 80% of that is known to be negative, and the research is out there because we are in a fight or flight scenario. There was a time, let me tell you a story as we're getting into this, but have you ever felt like you didn't want to be in your body? And I do recognize that because I do meditations. There's a lot of people that kind of are not part of it, or they'll, be doing their thing, like not wanting to be still. But if you had that time where you seriously feel like you don't want to be in your body, if I find myself going that direction because I lived in it all the time, I start adding tools to my tool belt. I realized that there was a reason for me to get off my hypothyroid medicine, and it was truly to feel my aches and pains, because I was always living exterior. I was running all over the place and I was doing all these things, but I wasn't accomplishing the bigger things that I want to do. So if you have a whiteboard here and you want to put a splatter on there like a virtual whiteboard, you don't really have to have a whiteboard, and you start acknowledging that we only have so much time here on earth. What are the things that you truly want to do? I mean, from your heart, and not be hiding from yourself or hiding from others of who you truly are. Because to get to that whiteboard of everything you want to do, you want to make sure you're building this bridge to get right to where that is. So you're not coming, and my client would say, coming in the back door of the brain, that you're truly building a bridge and saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to get. And my thing is, I want to be in my heart. I want to have freedom in my body. I want to feel safe. And I want to feel my heart actually pumping to where I can feel it. And when I have health things going on, because I'm not taking medicine anymore, what have I not been stepping into? And I need to get my body every day. So if I have any fears, I'm really not going to listen to what's happening in my body. If I start listening to what's happening, I'll be able to live a better life. I mean, in truth. And I have somebody in my camp right now that is telling me that not everything is positive, that them thinking negative or thinking negative thoughts is regular. And I say, yeah, it is. It is regular stuff. That's why 80% of our day is known to be negative. But when we really start looking at this, why? Why live? And what our brain was ready for when man first came around. We have a home. We have, a shit show going out there in the news and all the things that we see, even when we open up the door, all the stuff that's going on. But if we believe that we can break through that 80% of negativity every day, that fight or flight, those are the first steps. So thinking negative and talking about negative things and talking about all these things that didn't work and all these people that did all this stuff wrong, clear that. Let's be in truth. This is how we get to be in our body. So back into the story, how I got to learn how to be in my body is to learn to like myself. I was so hard on myself. I thought of everything I did wrong. And my brain would take me there, and I believed everything my brain was thinking, the way my brain was, this is my brain. Nobody understands me. And that made me very lonely. I wanted to be with people, but I didn't know how to be with people because I saw people laughing and having fun. Well, sometimes we can laugh and have fun, but my perfectionism was in me being perfect inside. And so I kept battling and trying to clear and thinking how everybody else is doing stuff wrong because I knew I was doing stuff wrong, and I kept at myself and I kept at people. And so I very seldom was laughing. And when I was laughing and carefree, people loved on me so much. And I always didn't know how to get back to there. But there may be a couple of pictures in my life where I was just like, wow! And now there's tons. But I wouldn't let myself get there. Because I'd say there's only so much happiness in this world. I can only have so much happiness. And it was almost like a limited resource until I started hearing these words like abundance and divine space. And I was like, I'm totally disconnected. What does that mean? And they would give me an explanation. And it still didn't mean anything to me. Because if I went on vacation, I'd say I'd be 20% in my vacation. I'd say, okay, I'm ready to go home. And I'd probably have like 5 more days. And I think I'd be held to be around because I was fighting with everything. I kept telling myself, I can't wait to get home to get in the real reality because this is not reality. And that's when I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism in my 20s. I was constantly at myself. And I was barely sleeping. I was afraid to sleep. Anybody else here turn on the TV to try and fall asleep because you're afraid? Or you wake up in the middle of the night and your adrenaline is running? And it might be something that's been happening all your life. At some point it started. And you think it's just normal because it's something that just happens. You don't really question it. I was at that point where I'd have these night frights, or I'd have these things that were coming at me, or I was scared, but it was just like I'd just finally wake up and I'd be like, oh, not even questioning it, not even thinking about it. But why not? How can we have freedom, safety, and healing if we really come in on the brain set of that? The brain thinking, I can have freedom, safety, and healing. So let's go to this other part here. Do you find anything in yourself in the story here where you may find things and gems in there? If so, please add it to the comments. Add what's important to you. Take a breath in and let's speak about the gems that you have around you. Let's get into the mindset transformation, entertainment in this Truth Friday. Let's get into it. If you found the possibilities in your life, these things that you want, they're on your whiteboard, that you want to write it down. This is what I want. I want to dance every day. I want to feel the healing in my body. I want to feel safe in this world. I want to feel like I can say things that are truly me instead of hiding from it. I yearn, I can be that. But to get on that whiteboard and actually write that and believe it, you can believe it in that moment, because that moment you believe in yourself. But what do you do if you write it on the board and you believe in yourself right now, but then we walk away from this story and the gap keeps getting wider and wider, what you believe on this whiteboard that you wrote? I want freedom, safety, healing. It comes down to truth. But it comes down to the tools that you use to get into truth, to your heart. And sometimes we're fighting and battling so much that when we give a hug, we're like this far from somebody, like, oh, instead of here in our heart. That we just kind of give into life. And giving into life is not how I want to live. I was in survival mode all my life. And that's generational stuff. That's the stuff that I came into this world just ready to take it on and maybe change and update. I have a global vision. Do you have this view, this big view of what you want in this world? Like when you think about you and what's important to you, like if this world could just be, and you start painting it, could just be like that, just like this. You start painting it. My global vision is #speaker locking arms. If you're not a friend of mine yet in social media, make sure you are, because in my bio, you will see rhondaliebig.com/tree. Get your 4 video series so that you can start changing and updating things in your words and being able to see yourself in your mindset flow. Maybe even get your global vision together. That's what that mainly is about, is that video series. There's a 4 video series. If we believe what we want to believe, what we yearn to believe, that is the truth. The truth of all the jibber jabber that we say just the stuff that we say on the fly, just the stuff that we're telling people how they should be living, just that we should be doing this, we should be. But what if we bring it down a notch and deeper till we can actually feel and hear our truth? When we start transitioning into this, when we start building the bridge to get into the heart and say to the brain, I'm building a bridge over you, I hear you. But I'm going to bring some special gems into this world, and I want you to support me. But I need to build a bridge because I know you're going to be there all the time. But if I get in my heart, then I can feel the truth. And when you start getting into that, it's pretty tricky. And I'm a coach. I'd love to work with you if this is like something so crazy cool for you. There's something in our brain that starts saying this stuff. You don't really love love. You're not really about love. That's just so fake. Everybody thinks you're fake. You're just such a fake person. You have never showed and displayed that. Well, maybe truth when I started transitioning. I was very afraid that people think I was faking it. When we start listening and believing in ourselves, the brain will come at you and say, that is such a lie. When you give a big hug, when you talk to people, you look at them and you say, I love you. That brain of ours will say, that's not true. Oh, they really liked when you did that. Oh, good, keep playing that up. And some stories start happening of why we were the way we were, but the new identity that we're building, the new flow, the stuff that heals the world, because we get to bring the frequency up, add the energy into the world by bringing our frequency up. Every time we bring our frequency up, we're helping that energy, that positive energy in the world. Every time we tone it down and we don't believe in ourselves, and we have all these stories and we're not sharing with people who we truly are, then we're bringing that frequency down. We're not helping this world at all. We're just all in that low-grade space. To heal your body the way I am doing and the way that you are doing is keeping the frequency up, but being in truth, learning how to use your fruit, food, and herbs, understanding what supplements you need. But the deeper part here, right here and now, is to heal your body also through the flow and the energy that you do every day. That you walk in every day believing in you. And I thought this was never possible. It is. It is possible. The more that we create love and heart center, the more we realize that's why we are here on earth. That all the shit show going on out there are people that are stuck in the brain, ready to fight. And how many times in your life have you really had to fight? I know I've had some big things happen in my life where I wanted to fight. That's when I needed that. But those were imprints on me, and I was carrying them around and believing that I was still in the fight or flight kind of being in this world. But when you look at it, we're driving a car, we're inside, we have a home, we have this, we have that. So what are we really fighting? We're fighting to stay off of medicine, maybe? We're fighting to have a better relationship. But what if we took that fight out? What if we just did that sweet spot of bringing our heart into everything, but consistently? So make sure you're using your tools out there. Everything that makes you feel good is a tool. Even breathing is a tool. So as we end our time together for Truth Friday, let's give ourselves a moment here of Zen. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands to your heart if you're ready for that. Come on, get it in there, release. And remember, this group here, at some point you came in wanting to know more about you. Even if you're watching this and you're a speaker, and you were a speaker on the show, aren't you in this group to support others, but also support yourself and seek love and mindset transformation? I appreciate and love you. you keep your flow going. You keep your health radiant. Keep building your bridge where you can come to your heart. Allow the brain, instead of fighting with it, allow your brain to be. Your brain is very smart. There's so much information in there. But when you couple that with the heart gets to say, I got you, brain. No more negativity. And when I need you for fight or flight, I know you'll be there. I want to make sure that you know that we're doing an event. And it's a masterclass. It's the first Fresh Talks masterclass that we're doing for speakers. If all this stuff, and by the time you got to the end of this video, if you're here, then I want to make sure that you jump into that masterclass. What happens is, it's a free scholarship type of class. So I want you to fill out a form and get yourself really prepared for sharing with me in Fresh Talks what your global vision is, what you're doing out there as a speaker. Let's keep changing the world. We really, truly deserve that. In our lifetime, let's keep clearing the brain. Let's keep showing up in truth. Let's keep being our true selves. And let's do that through our tools so we can be in truth with our loved ones, the way we think. And even if they naysay us for a moment, keep being you. They'll love you even more. Namaste.